So in ancient China, there was a village, an area, and there was a farmer, a very old farmer. He loved breeding horses, stallions. So he had this stallion. He entered it into a contest. Lo and behold, his stallion wins first prize. He comes back to the village, and the villagers are ecstatic. They're like, "This is amazing! You have not only you have the best stallion in the whole area. This is amazing!" And the farmer responds, "Who is to say what is good or what is bad?" The villagers are like, "Huh?" And they just kind of leave. Now, some local marauders hear about this prize stallion, and the next week they break into the village, into the farmer's property, and they steal the horse, and they run the stallion, and run away. The villagers find the next morning, they see the broken fence. They go to the farmer, this old farmer. They're like, "Oh, this horse, the stallion, it's been stolen. This is horrible. It's the worst thing ever. It was your stallion and the best stallion in the area." The farmer says, "Who is to say what is good or what is bad?" The villagers they're very perplexed. What is going on here? And they just kind of leave the guy alone. Now the stallion, it's a spirity stallion. It's quite feisty. After all, it is the best stallion in the whole area. It breaks away from these marauders and returns home back to the farmer. The villagers in the morning, they see there's the stallion just running around its little corral. And they're like, they go to the old farmer, "This is amazing. Your stallion is back. You can use it on the farm to help you. And he's back. It's great." The farmer says calmly, "Who is to say what is good and what is bad?" The villagers are just like, "Oh my God, this farmer." And they just leave him alone. Now, the next week, it's a very, very eventful village, by the way, in ancient China. The farmer has a son who does most of the chores and takes care of the farm. He's riding the horse and falls off and breaks his leg. The villagers go to the old farmer. "This is horrible. What will you do? How will you harvest your food? How will you eat food? How will you survive? Who will get the water? Who will tend the farm?" The farmer says, "Who is to say what is good and what is bad?" The villagers are like, "Oh my God, this guy he's crazy. He must have lost his mind. He's so old now." And they just go away. Let him do his thing. And the next week, the government decides to declare war on a neighboring country. They go around conscripting all the able-bodied young men. The son doesn't have to go. He has a broken leg. The villagers ecstatic. They're like, old farmer, we are so happy for you. Your son doesn't have to go off to war. He doesn't have to be in danger of being killed. Some of our sons might, but yours is okay." The farmer says, "Who's to say what is good or what is bad?" So I mean, the point is the farmer kind of takes this passive sage perspective of, it is not good, it is not bad, it simply is. That's part of the story, or part of the sage perspective. And go back to sharing the screen here. So instead of passively letting things happen, going whatever, we're going to proactively develop this sage perspective, who you really are. It's just a muscle that needs to be exercised. So the question is, as in the farmer story, which perspective is true? A saboteur would say, "This is bad." The sage would say, "This is a gift." I'll tell you a story about relationships in terms of the saboteur and the sage, or who we really are. So in most relationships, people meet each other for the first time and they hit it off really well. They're like, "Oh my God, who is this person? I want to know who you are." And it's like there's magic, and they fall in love. And one person's sage, who they really are, comes out, and they're like, "I want to know who you are. I want to get to know you. I want to spend time with you. Oh my God, you are the love of my life." And because they do that, the other person's comes out too. And they have this wonderful sage dance. This is good. This is good. Not only is it good, it's amazing. We're falling in love. Same thing happens when perhaps a couple for the first time moves in together or gets married and moves in together. After about, we'll say maybe 6 months, suddenly it's like the honeymoon is over. Oh, the sage, takes a back seat. Doesn't take a back seat. The saboteurs come out and start to notice what is wrong with that person. I don't like the way he does that. Does he have to play video games all day? Dear God, does she always have to do something with me on my day off? Can I have some alone time? The kids never listen. What's wrong with them? It's so easy. I know. Oh my God, my boss gave me more work. A deadline by tomorrow? Oh, why does he do that? So whatever the relationship is, when you meet someone new, there's this honeymoon phase and you're like, oh my God, I love you. And then the saboteurs come out, and the answer is, simply put, whichever you believe becomes true. For example, I wash dishes a very certain way so that by the time I wash the dishes, the next time they're all dry, I just put them away. Very nice. My wife, on the other hand, she washes dishes and puts the wet dishes on top of the already dry dishes without putting the dishes away. I first thought, why is she making me do more work? Now, this is comical looking back on it now. However, it's these little things that when they're not spoken about, it's our saboteurs make up these stories, and we keep looking for what's wrong. And it leads to fights about money, the family's future, what to do with the kids, maybe getting in an argument with a boss, staying away from a coworker. We form all these little stories. And in terms of relationships, eventually it leads to a divorce. This is why they happen, because the saboteurs take over and we keep looking for what is bad about the other person. Okay, so the saboteur interceptor, catching those nasty people, the sage, who you really are, the self-command. Now, the self-command muscle is what you actually do. It's the practicality of the program. The saboteur interceptor and sage are what is developed. The self-command is you. Let me stop the share screen here. The self-command, as it implies, it is you saying, no more saboteurs. I'm taking control of my life. I'm deciding what life I want to live. I am designing and creating the life I want to live. I want this job. I want this relationship. I want this with my kids, with my coworkers, my friends, family. I want confidence. I want clarity. I want healthy relationships. This is the self-command muscle. And what that is done through what are called 10-second PQ reps. So 10 seconds equals 1 PQ rep. It's kind of like doing a rep with some weights, which is for physical fitness. This one's for mental fitness. Now I'm going to stop sharing the screen and we'll do this together.